If someone told you that learning a new language had to be all serious study and hard grind, what rock have they been hiding under? The 5 languages in this video are so much fun to learn that you will be dancing on the tables, writing strange swirly alphabets, and chatting people up in the strangest of places. Life is too short not to learn a little bit of Hindi, and look how cool the teachers are.
Small vertical line, snake-like structure, and then dot.
Just like that. Hindi is written with a beautiful script called Devanagari, and it is so much fun to learn. Now, I'm not going to lie, speaking Hindi will seem very, very different to what you're used to at first. The way that you put sentences together is quite different to English. But the nice thing about Hindi words is that you pronounce them exactly how you write them. So let's start with one that you definitely know, Namaste. And then find yourself a funny teacher.
से बोल्ड बड़ा ही कॉम्प्लेक्स शब्द है ये, परंतु आसान भाषा में इसका मतलब होता है शादी नहीं हो पाएगी.
But you already know plenty of the fun words because English borrowed a whole bunch from Hindi. For example, there is bungalow, dungarees, shampoo, guru, juggernaut, jungle, pyjamas. Go on, say all that with an Indian accent. Meanwhile, there are all sorts of fun classes to engage in the language and the culture, like Bollywood dance workouts. Seriously, you could just listen to Hindi every day of your life if you wanted to. The Bollywood movie scene alone is a massive language learning resource, and they are not all musicals, I promise. At the end, you can say thanks to your Hindi teacher by learning the lyrics to this amazing teacher's song. वो मेरे टीचर थे तुम्हें, हाँ मेरे टीचर हो तुम्हें. When we think of Hawaii, we think of tropical paradise, big wave surfing and hula skirts, but it is also a great opportunity for learning an exceptionally fun Polynesian language. Now I'm going to come back to hula in just a minute because it's actually a pretty big deal. But let's start with my second favourite reason for learning Hawaiian, the vocabulary.
Moku in Hawaiian means
island.
So when you go to Lanikai Beach and you see 2 little islands far in the distance, they are called shortly moks.
Lovely, but why so short? Give us a good one.
So this is Hawaii's state fish. It is called
Humu humu
nuku nuku
apua a. Yes, that's just one word.
One word.
Let's say it a little faster. Humu humu nuku nuku apua a.
That is pretty cool. I would learn Hawaiian just to say those words. And these ones too. Do you notice anything about them? Hold that thought. Of course, the best way to learn Hawaiian is in Hawaii, and that's where the good times are.
To tell the story the way the ancient Hawaiians did, you really need to put yourself in that dance. You need to live like them. You need to chant like them. You need to train like them.
Hula is the storytelling dance of the Hawaiian Islands, and it uses gestures and spoken words to tell these stories. For native Hawaiians, the origins of hula are deeply spiritual and rooted in history and their ancestors. And yes, you can take classes. They will happily share the aloha spirit with you. And look how laid back the language teachers are.
Kanalike's name is Kanalike, so she's going to use Kanalike, but I want you to just see it happening. Pege oi! Mai ka'i! Oh, oi ko inoa! O ka'analike ko'u inoa. I asked her, what is your name? And she responded with, my name is Ka'analike.
Hey, can I get a Mai Tai with that? There are only 12 letters in the Hawaiian alphabet, yes? You heard me right, 12. 13 if you count the glottal stop. Now that's this little dude here. It's like in some British accents where we say bottle or butter or Saturday. Hawaii. Hear that? Hawaii. And since every single syllable ends with a vowel, no joke, it really is easy to break up words that look hard, like this one here, into smaller parts that are downright easy. And then, well, all you need is one of these. Ukulele for the win. Very easy to pick up, by the way. If you learn Hawaiian, you will also be part of preserving it because it's a language that has been oppressed and is really only in the last 50 years that it's making a bit of a comeback. In fact, most of what you will hear in the country isn't even Hawaiian, it's Creole, but let's save that for another video. And if you like videos like this one, well, please click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to the channel too. It's a free way to support me in this very special course. Brazilian Portuguese. Some people describe it as laid back and tropical. Isn't that nice? But I bet that's not the first thing you thought of. Brazilians love celebrations, and their variety of Portuguese has a wonderfully expressive musical sound. Right from the start, you will notice how melodic people sound when they speak.
E aqui atrás de mim temos o mar ou oceano.
So let's talk about these wonderful words. Portuguese has these adorable sounding diminutives like inha and inho that go at the end of a word to make something smaller or cuter or more affectionate. So Ronaldo, or Ronaldo as it's pronounced in Portuguese, becomes Ronaldinho. Just a minute, só minuto, becomes só minutinho. Just a little minute, a little bit. I'll be right there, just a little minute. And lots of languages use the diminutive like this, but Brazilian, well, it just does it in a very, very adorable way. It's like Brazilian words are so happy that they need to bounce around when they speak. Now, speaking of football,
É do Brasil!
they just cannot help themselves, and watching Brazilian football is another really fun way to enhance your Portuguese. But you will have some challenges. Obviously, with all languages, the nasal sounds in Portuguese are difficult to pronounce at first. This is words like não, mãe, amanhã. And some people struggle with other sounds like ilha and caminho. Lots of sounds kind of like mixed together. There's a bit of acrobatics with the mouth and the throat in Portuguese, but isn't it gorgeous? But honestly, that is just part of the vibe with Portuguese. I bet you will love it.
Eu vi tudo. Frase afirmativa. Eu não vi nada. Frase negativa.
If it's pure linguistic pleasure you are looking for, then Portuguese is right up there, and learning Portuguese was certainly some of the most fun that I've ever had. I don't even know where to begin, but let's just say that music is the very heartbeat of Brazil. And if learning Portuguese is on your wish list, then you might like to check out Portuguese Uncovered, which is our very own program to learn Portuguese here at StoryLearning. What's unique about Portuguese Uncovered is that the whole program is based entirely on story. And if there's one thing that you should know about Brazilians, well, they love to tell stories. So Portuguese Uncovered will set you up very nicely for a trip to Brazil and prepare you well for understanding all the crazy stuff that Brazilians are going to say to you. There is a free 7-day trial of the course, and you can check it out by clicking the link in the description. And now, turn the lights down. Do you like what you hear? Well, we might have found the perfect language for introverts who prefer a quieter kind of fun. This is Persian, and Iranians call it Farsi. Persian is an elegant, soft, and song-like language from Iran that is full of romance and poetry. If you know anything about Iranian culture, you know that poetry is held in the utmost esteem. And honestly, this is poetry that can take your breath away. Haunting. They are singing the poetry of Rumi. Heard of him? Of course you have. For Persian speakers, poetry is part of everyday life, and Iranians will tell you that the language was made for poetry. They'll quote poetry at a business meeting, at the bakery, at dinner parties, in a taxi, or when kids behave properly. You know, poetry can even settle a family argument. So for all of you artists out there, if salsa and hula aren't your cup of tea, this could be for you.
ماه مهربان من، مهر آسمان من، نور دیدگان من، گل بگو و گل بشنو.
Like stories, poetry is a great tool for learning languages. I mean, kids have been doing this since forever, haven't they? Learning to speak with nursery rhymes and so on. But wait, there's more. Some people learn Farsi just to be able to write Persian calligraphy, and even if you're not an artist, it is immensely satisfying to try that out. And the language itself, well, Farsi grammar is quite straightforward, with no genders, no articles, no noun inflections. It's not considered a very, very difficult language, but like everything, will take some getting used to. For example, as with Arabic, they don't write out their vowels, which presents some challenges when it comes to reading before you've built up your vocabulary, and they often speak quite differently to how they write, throwing in all kinds of colloquial sayings and idioms. But would you expect anything less from the language of poetry? Want to see a smile as big as this one? Well, just learn how to speak Zulu, and if you've never heard why Zulu is fun to learn,
in my language I will say
Zulu is a click language, a type of language found only in Africa, where some letters are pronounced through, clicking sound. So if you love trying unique things that none of your friends are doing, this is going to be fun. Zulu is one of the official languages in South Africa, but it's also a common language spoken by other African people groups, although nobody's saying Zulu is going to be easy.
Ngifunde isiZulu kuqala enyuvesi ngoba lapho besifunda siqhathanisa.
The pronunciation and writing are straightforward, but learning the grammar and vocabulary will take a while. It's a tonal language with lots of prefixes and suffixes, but if you don't know the name of the thing, you can actually just put E in the front of the English word and say it, and they will probably know what you mean.
Yayibona ndijongile.
Bangabunazo mhlekazanazo ndizakubetha ubebomvu ngoku. Awamaduma phambili onke akhona elinye ngemva.
Yeah, breaking out in Zulu is one way to make people stop and stare, because trust me, no one will be expecting that. But South Africans will find it immensely delightful. There are 3 distinct click sounds.
Like the name, Xoxa, Ingxoxo, Ucam, Xoma, Xhosa.
And before you know it, you'll be like,
Dedela ingane yakho uyokhuluma isingisi kodwa egcineni kumele ukwazi ukuthi ngiqhamukaphi. Ukhohlwa ama-roots wakho. Akulona icala kodwa akekho right emadlozini. Kodwa mina ngiyazi ukuthi ngiyibhinqa mina. Nawe uyasibonela nje nokhavela eloti ihlaza eloti ebovu.
I bet you thought this list would have some different languages in it, and why not? Having a personal connection to any language can make it more fun to learn and easier as well, because you're more motivated, which is why I personally chose to put Portuguese in this list, to be honest. So for a real deep dive into Brazilian Portuguese, check out this video, or alternatively, you might like to know which languages are considered easiest for English speakers to learn. That's here as well. This is gold dust if you're searching for your next language to learn.